This is Dental All Stars, where we bring you the best in dentistry on marketing, management, and training.
Hey everyone, I'm Alex Nottingham, CEO of All Star Dental Academy, and welcome to Dental All Stars. Our topic today is Systems for Success, the Legion Trifectas. Our guest is Dr. Todd Snyder. Todd, a dentist himself, had made it his mission to help dentists remove barriers and fears so they can implement new systems and skills to become successful. Learning how to break out of your comfort zone and create expansion in business and life. And you're really going to enjoy this podcast. So please welcome Todd Snyder. Hey, Todd, good to have you.
Thanks, Alex. Great to be here.
I love your topic. I love mindset. I like ways to get outside of your comfort zone. So let's get right into some of these questions here that we have. When it comes to dentists, what are the common success barriers or problems that you see?
You know, if we got a couple hours, we could talk a long time about this. But, you know, the main ones that I hear in all of my teaching and speaking around the country is that, you know, people are afraid of things. They're afraid of, you know, not having employees or finding employees. They're afraid of overhead. They're afraid of DSOs. They're afraid of the insurance. You know, they're afraid of not making, you know, enough money each month. And so there's a lot of fear, and fear comes from what I would consider the mindset or a wrong mindset. You know, a negative mindset continues your mind to think in a negative pattern as opposed to training it to think positive and to see everything as a wonderful thing. And so I always say a problem is a gift. And so when there's a problem, if you laugh and smile about it, you actually are changing your brain's chemistry and your body's chemistry such that a problem is a gift and an opportunity and a wonderful thing, as opposed to being a negative thing. And if you train yourself, you can remove a lot of these fears, because most fear is false. They've proven that, you know, like 80% of the time, our fears are totally unfounded. So that's where I'd say, you know, people need to start looking at themselves and their mindset.
And as I hear this cogent response from you, let's step back a little bit, because you are a dentist and a race car driver and a whole bunch of things. But what kind of got you into, and by the way, when I say dentist, you're not just any dentist. I mean, because you have some dentists that are just, they're lecturers and they're kind of like weak on the dentistry side. Like, you're a fellow of like all these organizations. You do high-end cosmetic work. I mean, you're a real quality dentist. You make a big investment in that. At the same time, you've cultivated these business skills and mindset. What got you into that? A lot of dentists don't like to go that route. What got you into this space of improving yourself?
Well, you know, dental school, I think, had misled many of us in the fact that, you know, they teach us just one thing, and that's do dentistry. They don't teach you how to run a business. They don't teach you how to take care of yourself, because, you know, at the end of the day, no matter what business you're in, no matter what you do in this world, everything comes back to you. And so if you have a weak mind that you just follow in line with everyone else, you're not going to get places. And so you have to make a determination at some point in your life, hopefully, that I'm in charge of myself. I come first. And because of that, I can take care of my family, my friends. I can take care of my patients and my employees. But if you put yourself last and you don't think in this manner, then to some extent, you're always reactionary to the world around you, as opposed to being proactive in creating the world around you. So where did it start for me? Hard to say, you know, whether it was, you know, just going back to like high school and sports, or, you know, if you want something in this world, my parents always said, you have to go earn the money and you have to get it yourself. And so I've always been a go-getter from a young age, because if I wanted it, I went out and got it. And I think from there, obviously listening to more psychology and more, you know, social media, internet, whatever, lets us now interact with other people and listen to them, such that, you know, you learn a lot from other people quickly. And so the more mentors you have and the more people you listen to, I think the faster you can grow and, you know, change your mindset, your skills, your habits, and build something far better than you ever dreamed possible.
That's fantastic. I mean, you came across this, that you were able to see this, because of course, you know, my story of my father. He's the typical dentist, right? And even to this day, when it comes to making things happen, I mean, that's not his forte. It's not in his nature, right? And it's not in a lot of dentists' nature to do that. But I like what you say, and I agree. Obviously, we talked about my background with Tony Robbins and so on. So I'm a little different, because I kind of immerse myself in that space. I still had to do the work. My teacher was my father in learning that that's not what I wanted, or kind of him teaching me like what he had to go through. A lot of dentists are going through. But to be able to come to that realization that mindset is everything. That when you talk about, yes, the fear of corporate dentistry, of the stranglehold of insurance, of competition or what have you, if you don't get the mindset right, if you don't go to your comfort zone and challenge it, you're not going to be able to address those things, right? And I know it sounds, when you hear the word mindset or comfort zone, right? But it's so true. And we could talk around it, but you have to come to that. So that's what you're saying to me, is that the nut is that comfort zone. The nut is mindset, yes, to be able to overcome for dentists.
Definitely. Yeah, because I don't see a very, I'm not picking on anyone, obviously, but I think a lot of people show up just reactionary, which is just a neutral mindset. But then you look at how concerned everyone is with problems and or overhead, and you go, well, that's not really going to get you anywhere. And so for someone to become awake or aware of their mentality is hard, because none of us want to claim that we have a problem. None of us want to look in the mirror and say, oh, I have a flaw. Like we all want to say, no, everything's great. But as soon as you start being honest with yourself and saying, you know what, I can do better. And I do have fears that never seem to come to fruition. And why am I always so concerned about overhead or patients or what, like, as opposed to saying, I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to go get the patients I want. I'm going to go make the money I want, so I don't have to worry about overhead. Like, that mentality doesn't happen, but you can train anyone. And once you start doing it like any habit, after like 60 to 90 days, it becomes an everyday thing. And you go, oh my gosh, right. I had no idea. But hard to do by yourself. Just like playing tennis, you can't do it by yourself. You need someone else.
Oh, I like hearing that. I'm a tennis player. I like to hear that.
Good.
That's a good analogy. Yeah.
So to get someone to play with you that's better than you, they've proven you rise to their level. So if you're playing tennis with someone who's really good, you play so much better because you're getting the ball hit to you, and now you get to hit it back easier than playing with two people that are horrible. The ball's going everywhere, and you never get to play. You never have a rally.
But you feel good. Your ego feels good because you keep beating the person that you know you can beat, versus playing that better player. That in terms of again, it's challenging your comfort zone.
Yeah. And think about it. So the day that you finally rise to the level that this good person you're playing against, that you're now playing as good as them, or you beat them one day, oh my gosh, you go like, finally, after X amount of months or years, I finally beat them once. Oh, and that sets your mindset up to go, oh, I can do more. I can get even better, and that propels you. If if you're working on yourself and your business and you're constantly trying to improve and expand yourself, you start to use this as, a mental drive, a fortitude that's like, I can't be stopped. I'm just going to keep building every day. And that's the part that so many people don't have, that if they could learn and have someone push them, it's amazing what they can do.
When it comes to, I'm thinking about the seasoned dentist, but also graduates, recent graduates, how are the problems different for them that they're facing?
Well, again, dental school doesn't train them. So they come out with this mindset of, oh no, poor me, I've got all this debt. And oh no, where am I going to get a job? I guess I'll go work for a DSO and they'll pay me well. And, to some extent, you may sell your soul and have other things, bad habits you learn potentially by going into one of those. And in my mind, it's the wrong mindset, but that's like 90+% of the students coming out of dental school with this kind of mindset, versus saying, you know what, it doesn't matter how much debt you have. You have the ability, you are an ATM. You have the ability to print money. You have a skill set that everyone needs, and they don't need it once. They're going to be repeat customers. They're going to come back to you every 3, 4, 6 months typically to get their hygiene done again. So you get another run at them as far as things that need to be done so they can be healthy and stay on this planet. And so with that, you can open a closet nowadays with one chair, a portable computer, a portable X-ray unit, a digital sensor. You could literally practice anywhere. You can choose where you want to set up your business. You can make money easily. But the mindset is, I want to go to the busiest place around here and with all the competition on the planet and go work for someone else. In my mind, that's like, well, it's going to take even longer to dig out of a hole, and you're still not going to learn how to run your business, and you'll still have fear of running your own business. So the day you finally step up and jump in is going to be scary. But when you do, you'll be like dumbfounded, like I should have done this a long time ago. I can make way more money than working for someone else and all those headaches. So in my mind, it's like learn from someone who's done things differently. Don't follow the 90% herd, because that's the people that aren't as successful as the 10% that said, no, I will not do this. I will do something different that no one else does. And because of that, patients want something from me because they perceive something as different.
It's interesting when I speak to dentists and they work through our coaching program and mastermind program, and they typically say, well, the reason I'm doing this is I'd like to have more patients, or there's a specific tactical issue. It all comes back to themselves, them as leaders, their mindset, their perspective. And when that shifts, everything shifts. And I love what you said. It was a great clip about, and my coach taught me this many times, which is you are able to change the world around you by changing your perception. Your perception is magic. And when you change that, your whole world changes. And here's a question for you, Todd, because mindset, again, can be a nebulous topic at first. Can you give me some concrete ways or strategies to train our mind to overcome these concerns and fears? How do we do it? What are some ways that we can address that?
Well, to do anything new, first thing is obviously to learn. So learning from someone else that's already doing, or listening to a book. I listen to books. I don't read books, but listening to someone that gives you the information. Various psychologists, various mentors, like you had with Tony Robbins, people that are out there on the speaking circuit that aren't necessarily in dentistry, maybe, that can teach you things. But from there, you have to have a commitment, a drive that you want to implement change. And that's hard to do. You look at like New Year's resolutions, most people quit after 2 weeks. So if you're going to implement, obviously you need someone to push you and to hold you accountable. And so what I would say is, if you want to learn these things, find someone to tell them what you're going to do and make sure that you check in with them every day until it becomes a habit. And a habit is what it's going to take, is every day you're going to be a little uncomfortable going, I really don't want to do this. So someone's got to push you and say, no, keep doing it. And just show you what you can't see as far as growth. And once you've had enough repetitions and things become comfortable and people have held you accountable, you look back at 90 days and go, oh my God, I had no idea I could do this. This is amazing. And I see it time and time again in my training programs as far as things that people didn't think they could do. But when someone else has done it, they go, oh, well, if such and such did it, I can do it too. It's really hard when you don't know anyone that's done it and you have to do it yourself. That's the hardest part. But most of the time, if you look hard enough, you ask around enough, you can find someone that's done what you want to do. And if that's the case, that helps you in your mental capabilities of pushing forward, as opposed to doing it on your own. You always need someone to help or to show you where you can get to. There's
one of the dentists that I work with that he also has his own. He's in my mastermind group, but he has his own mastermind group, an endodontist, well known around the country. And he says the quickest way to grow your business and improve your life is coaching. Work with a coach. Work with many coaches. Definitely a big fan of that. And what I also find miraculous, kind of speaking to you, Todd, is we were talking about this earlier in the green room, is how I'm grateful you send a lot of people to All-Star Dental Academy. I really appreciate that.
Well, you hit it on the head. Obviously, you need mentors. And anytime you think you're successful and you just start coasting and you don't advertise, you don't market, you need to stop and reassess that you always should have a mentor if you want to keep growing. Someone to push you, someone that's always someone that's done more, that you're trying to emulate what they've done and supersede them to some extent. And so I recognized that early on and have had numerous mentors, and I keep buying and paying for more mentors. But these are all people outside of dentistry. These are business people, great minds that are constantly building and growing, going different directions. And so what I've done is, where I had my own mental drive, my own fortitude of wanting to build and create, it's expanded substantially because of being around these other people.
Now, Todd, if you can give me one thing, I love action items here, and a lot of our listeners are like that. If you can give me one thing as a dentist I can do tomorrow to get out of my comfort zone, to improve my mindset, what would that be?
I would tell you to do what others won't. Anything that someone else is doing, do the opposite. So when dentists, one of my big questions is, who are your patients? They're like, well, everybody. I'm like, wrong answer. Your patients are not everyone. Because if you think of Pareto principle, 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your patients. Well, who are those 20% and what do they want? And so if you find more of those 20%, in other words, if you market to that type of customer, you get more of those, makes your life easier. So it's not that you treat everyone. Now, granted, if you're someone who you've got a bleeding heart and you want to help everyone and you want to do it for free or whatever, that's fine. But what I'm saying is do what others don't do or won't do, because that's where you find success and that's where you stand apart from everyone else. And that's where a patient can perceive a difference and they're willing to pay for something that is unique and different that they believe in their heart is right for them, as opposed to someone who just wants an insurance-driven office that's close to their office and they don't care who's doing the work and they perceive the work as being the same everywhere. That's not who I want as a customer. But you could do the same thing with employees. Do what others won't do. Well, don't hire someone from the dental industry, maybe. Hire someone maybe from a hotel that was a concierge that has great communication skills and loves to interact with people. You can teach them dentistry. That's easy. And so again, your mindset, if you go, wait, don't do what everyone else does in whatever you do. Like I just given you 2 examples, but everything. Look at the 180% opposite direction and do what others won't do. And I guarantee you'll find success.
What motivated you? Because you have achieved success in dentistry and you continue to do that. What is your motivation, Todd?
I've been a teacher and educator, since dental school. So when I got out of school in 94, I started teaching at the university. We created a graduate program in cosmetic and restorative dentistry. And so I've been teaching for 28 years. And it's fun to help other people, but also you can see yourself in them. And so that becomes fun and rewarding, but also to know that, where I was given mentorship and achieved a lot of things from others, it's fun to give back and to watch other people literally move light years ahead of me because of all of my knowledge put into them at an earlier, younger age. It's like, wow, you have crazy opportunities, because me at almost 54, giving information to someone who's 28 or 30, it's like, you can grow way farther than I have if you stick with the systems and programs I'm talking about. In other words, to have certain systems every day that drive you to be better and to always look how you can expand and create, as opposed to being reactionary to the day. Be proactive and build. I did a podcast recently. People say, think outside the box. I'm like, no, be in a box, but change the box. Make the walls bigger, make the walls higher, put the ceiling up and make it glass. Like, you're always in a box, but you decide the box. So totally different mentality. Don't think outside, think inside for a moment. So again, it's 180 degrees different, but yeah, it's fun to help people. I mean, you get to a point in life where you're doing well enough, it becomes more fun to watch other people grow, that you're still doing well and enjoying what you do, but it becomes even more rewarding to see others be successful.
Well, it's another L word, not legion, but legacy.
You
get to a point where you're financially free and you choose activities that bring you joy. And your whole purpose is to bring joy and help others, because that brings joy. And you live on through others' success, and it makes you feel good. And that should be what we all are looking to do at the end of the day. We're making more money, not just to have more money, but to be able to have more freedom to do what we love and to serve and help others. Duh.
Exactly. Freedom. I say it all the time.
Wonderful. Well, on that note, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Apple Podcasts, follow us on Spotify, do the same for Todd as well. And until next time, go out there and be an all-star.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Dental All-Stars. Visit us online at allstardentalacademy.com.